Hello and welcome to InnoGrid TV in association with Engerati. I'm now joined by Erwin Smole, who's the co-founder of Grid Singularity. And Erwin, first of all, welcome. Always nice to see you. And for those of you watching, you will, and regular users of the Engerati network, you'll know that Erwin was involved in one of our webinars called What the Blockchain. And your company is Grid Singularity, and I've let the cat out of the bag. You're doing some cool stuff using blockchain technology, but let's not make this a session about blockchain technology. Let's make it more of a session about what is the problem that you're trying to solve within Grid Singularity. What are you setting out to do?
What we are solving is a need for the customers. Customers are more and more buying their own generation. They have the PV installation. They are now investing more in electric vehicles, in storage, and they want to combine this. And if they have an over generation, then they want to sell this to the neighbor. So there happens a lot of things in the distribution network on a low level, and for them we are offering solutions because not everybody of them can buy a grid control software, so they get a very cheap app and can do these transactions. And this is a big advantage of the technology.
So one of the things again, what happens and the technology, and let's fast forward a little bit. There was a question in my panel yesterday where someone was asking, hey, where do you see what's happening on the grid? What does it look like in 10 or 15 years? I felt that some of the answers felt a little bit like business as usual, but from your worldview, if I were to ask you that question, I suspect I might get a different answer. So that's the question I'm asking you.
Yeah. So let's assume 15 years from now on, there will be a huge change in the market. There is a shift down to the distribution network. There will be installed decentralized market there, and not because of the blockchain technology. Blockchain technology is only one of the enablers which are allowing this. The main drivers are the society itself. They never had before these cheap technologies. They can produce their own electricity. They can store their own electricity. And this is, compared with the history, this was never seen before. And this is the main driver. And this will be a huge change. It's not only in the core business, it will also change in the market model. There will be a lot of things happen now in the next 15 years.
And do you see us having more of an impact of the sharing economy? Because everybody goes, oh, this market is going to get, and you look at all the big hits that have been out there, like Uber and all, they've tapped into the sharing economy. I don't think the energy sector has even scratched the sides of that. How do you see that evolving?
We will see this also in electricity, also, or in the energy market. Not only electricity, we will see this also a certain amount in the gas market. We will see the impact also in water and heat market. But the first market where we'll see this is the electricity market. And the sharing economy, this will be a significant part of them. It does not mean that it's totally replacing the utilities. For a certain functionality, the utilities will still have their role there. But on a retail market, there will be a huge impact. And compared with the automotive market, with Uber, electricity market has a much longer history, with concentrated utilities, with monopolies. And now that the people get now a power to do this by their own, this is unbelievably strong driver.
And it is hugely disruptive as well. And how far along are you within Grid Singularity? Because the last time we spoke, it was like, you were the new kids on the block. We're kind of starting. We're going to build a platform, but you've since, made public a little bit more your roadmap about where you're trying to go. But if you could take this opportunity to just bring that to life for a little bit for us. Where are you now? What's the event horizon as well?
We have now 3 main areas where we're working. One is our own development, the trading agent, D3A. We are now in the phase of proof of concept, so we are already implementing this part of software together with partners, with utilities in integrated network, but also in microgrids. Second main area at the moment is the Energy Web Foundation, which was funded by Grid Singularity and Rocky Mountain Institute. So the first round day is closed. We have 10 members there. There were already the first meeting with them. We also see that innovative utilities, how they are driving their own market. If you allowing within the utilities a small innovative group what they are asking, how they are pushing their own company. And the third thing is the event horizon, which will be definitively done next year again, after the success of the first year. And we will use the event horizons to publish the results of the Energy Web Foundation. So February 2018, there will be the beta version of the high performance blockchain for the energy market available. And 2019, it will be then the full version available.
And so for me, what is interesting is in terms of also what you're doing is open sourcing some of this as well, which to me seems like a great move. But one of the other things that I feel is, how quickly do you think that is going to also accelerate adoption and make things happen? What's your vision? Do you see your tech being just pervasive and this is how energy will be traded, or where are you trying to go?
So the vision in the end of the day is the majority of the transactions. And transaction is not only selling electricity, it's also running a grid. We separate this in the transaction can be run on a blockchain. So the blockchain is open source and available for everybody. So that means when it's online, people from Asia can use this, from Europe, from Africa, from US, and they're solving their own problem. And this is the big driver behind it.
And tell me again a little bit about how open really is this market to outside innovation and outside actors? What reception are you getting? Because there's a lot of talk about, oh, we need to innovate, we have innovation, and we need to get new things on board. I also talk to people who are trying to come to the table with innovation, and they're like going, not so sure this market is that geared up for accepting it. What's your experience?
We are here in a more favorable position because it's not our company who is driving this, it's the market itself, the customer who are forcing this. So if they see that we cannot support them with the technology, they will look for something different. But it is the area of the customer who is driving this challenge. We just give them a tool to enable this. And this is, I think, this is the very important to understand this from the utility itself, that their customer is pushing this technology, not from a startup. So we're just serving this group of customers. And this is more favorable. We don't need to convince the utilities. If we don't do this, they will feel or see what happens in the near future.
Absolutely. And just for us, where we're going and what we're trying to do, and the work at Grid Singularity, just as we come to an end of our time, what's the next big milestone for you guys? Because the other thing that's happened is ever since you kind of came out and said, hey, we're building this on blockchain, there's a whole bunch of other people doing similar stuff. So what's the next big critical milestone for you guys within the business?
Then the next one is the beta version of the blockchain. It's not in a way that we're doing this isolated. We already, a lot of startups are asking if they can connect already to this blockchain so that their applications are already is prepared for the next big thing, which will be the beta version. And for us, the trading agent, the D3A, to run this in a real microgrid and totally isolated to show what the capability of the blockchain is really.
So that proof of concept demonstration work is a guy. And my final question is, do you need anything to happen on the retail market in order for what you're putting out there to be optimized? Because there's a lot of talk here as well about retail market innovation, and my point is actually we might need a bit less regulation to get innovation going.
It's the same view from our side. Regulators are regulating a monopoly, which is fine, but what we see from the technology, this technology is allowing the regulator to step back a little bit more and let the market run. On the technologies, everything is visible, it's recorded. Regulators have never in the past a tool like this where they can get the data. So this is the thing with the regulation. From the retail market, they just should understand what the customer wants and serve the need of the customers.
Perfect, thank you. And on that note, we'll leave it. Otherwise, I'll get told off for overrunning again. Erwin, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for being here. And this has been another session for InnoGrid TV in association with Engerati here in Brussels. Thanks for watching.